All India Radio presents Morning News. Good morning, I'm Sunil Verma and with me is VC Pramod. The headlines. World leaders to begin their high-level meeting of UN General Assembly in New York today. Global polarization, Russia-Ukraine conflict, food and energy crisis, economic problems and natural disasters likely to dominate agenda. External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar holds talks with his UAE, Indonesian, Egyptian and Cuban counterparts on the sidelines of UNGA session. Also participates in India CELAC Quartet meeting. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to address a meeting of all BJP mayors this morning. Former Punjab Chief Minister Captain Amrinder Singh joins BJP. Merges his party Punjab Lok Congress with BJP. ED summons Aam Aadmi Party MLA Durgesh Pathak in connection with Delhi liquor policy scam. CBI files charge sheet against Yes Bank co-founder Rana Kapoor in 466 crore rupees bank fraud case. Massive 7.5 magnitude earthquake rocks Mexico's Pacific coast. And in cricket, India to take on Australia in first T20 international of 3-match series in Mohali this evening. World leaders will begin their high-level meeting of the UN General Assembly today. Global polarization, Russia-Ukraine conflict, food and energy crisis, economic problems and natural disasters are likely to dominate the agenda. A watershed moment, transformative solutions to interlocking challenges is the theme of this year's meeting. Reform of UN Security Council is expected to get renewed attention during the meeting. It will be high on India's External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar's agenda when he meets with leaders from around the world and when he participates in 2 meetings focused on the reforms. The US has signaled that President Joe Biden will present new ideas for moving the stalled reform process forward and hold wide consultations about it. Prime Minister Narendra Modi is not attending the meeting this year and Dr. Jaishankar is scheduled to speak for India on Saturday. External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar held talks with his UAE, Indonesian, Egyptian and Cuban counterparts on the sidelines of UN General Assembly in New York last night. During his meeting with UAE Foreign Minister Abdullah bin Zayed Al Nahyan, Dr. Jaishankar reviewed the gamuts of bilateral strategic partnership between the two nations. Dr. Jaishankar also appreciated UAE Foreign Minister's assessments and insights on the global situation. The External Affairs Minister also held a meeting with the Foreign Minister of Indonesia, Retno Marsudi, and discussed issues related to bilateral ties. Dr. Jaishankar, who is on a 11-day visit to the US, met with Egyptian Foreign Minister Sameh Shukri and exchanged views on a range of key areas of cooperation. External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar met the President of the 77th session of the United Nations General Assembly, Chaba Korosi, at UN headquarters. He congratulated Mr. Korosi on his priorities for UNGA 77th session. Dr. Jaishankar assured him of India's fullest support. They discussed the criticality of SDG agenda for global progress. The External Affairs Minister shared Indian experiences in that regard.
External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar participated in the India CELAC Quartet meeting held on the sidelines of the United Nations General Assembly UNGA in New York yesterday. CELAC stands for Community of Latin American and Caribbean States. In a release, the External Affairs Ministry said that both the sides expressed satisfaction at revitalizing the India CELAC Forum. They expressed happiness at the growing engagements of India with Latin American countries. They also reviewed the entire spectrum of India-CELAC relations. They also discussed regional and multilateral issues of mutual interests. Both sides acknowledged their cooperation in UN and other multilateral bodies and agreed to work together on global issues, including UN reforms and climate change. In Morning Matters, now let's listen to a discussion on India-UK ties for Roadmap 2030. The participants are Bhashwati Mukherjee, former ambassador, and Nilova Roy Chaudhary, journalist.
In this 75th year of India's independence from British colonial rule, the roadmap that was chalked out for 2030 becomes sort of even more important as both countries are emerging from the devastating shadow of the COVID-19 pandemic and the impact of the Russian invasion of Ukraine. There are a variety of new areas that India and Britain are looking at. What are the areas that we can look at for the relationship to go forward in?
It was actually the Commerce Secretary of India who had mentioned about a week ago that the FTA is making great progress and perhaps could be finalized by Diwali. The United Kingdom also has a very understanding perception of the kind of difficulties that India is facing vis-a-vis China. The formation of AUKUS for India was a way to contain the rise of China in the Indo-Pacific, and United Kingdom also appreciates our role in Quad. As far as the Ukraine-Russia crisis is concerned, the United Kingdom has much better understanding now after several rounds of discussions between our External Affairs Minister and Prime Minister Liz Truss when she was Foreign Secretary about the position that we have on this issue. So it is not an obstacle or a hindrance. We have gone ahead on the basis of mutual understanding of each other's position. And certainly the UK today understands the importance of a rule-based order in the Indo-Pacific, the role of Quad. So all in all, the defense partnership has great potential. We have been doing joint exercises and we are looking at positively at whether we should get some hardware from UK based on transfer of technology. So all these things are marching ahead as we speak.
India, for example, is the second largest foreign investor in the United Kingdom. The UK ranks about 18th as a trading partner of India and third after Mauritius and Singapore as an investor in this country. What are the potential areas that both countries are looking at?
The huge Indian FDI flows, which have been continuing now for almost 2 decades, completely transformed the India-UK business partnership. In fact, post-Brexit, Indian corporates based in the United Kingdom have been a source of great support to the UK economy as it comes out of the pandemic. You know, the UK economy was badly hit by the pandemic and it had not recovered from the adverse impact of Brexit. It was cut off from partnership where it had the protection of the EU tariffs, regulations, etc., which is why United Kingdom desperately needs this FTA with India and is quite accommodating on some of our concerns, which is why we've been able to move ahead. Common areas of investment which we can look at, and they include agricultural products, they include healthcare, work with pharmaceuticals. We've used the AstraZeneca very effectively and now of course our own indigenous vaccines. So all in all, there are many areas where we can look at for further collaboration.
The other very interesting thing is that the two countries decided to go ahead on collaborating in research, not just for healthcare but in a variety of other areas. This is something that we've not been doing very much about. Research in terms of the development of clean energy and transport and new technologies, protecting nature and biodiversity, and helping developing countries adapt to the impact of climate change. So this is another crucial area in which India are now looking to collaborate. It's one of the sort of future areas other than, of course, the blue economy of the seas. These are areas that you think will go a long way, right?
Indeed. In fact, climate change is something which is of great interest to the new British monarch, King Charles III. He has spent a lot of his time as Prince of Wales working on climate change issues. He also strongly supported right from the beginning our solar energy project, the fact that we had the Solar Alliance, so many countries have joined, both India's effort to move to renewable energy. And certainly there is much that we can learn from the UK on climate change issues and on the blue economy, and also the United Kingdom has an excellent record of encouraging research and development, R&D, in key industries. This is something again that we can collaborate together, because there is no doubt that they, like many European countries, have a very rigorous approach to R&D, which we also are now embracing. And this is again an area that we can look at as we move ahead.
That's wonderful to hear. Thank you so much, Ambassador Mukherjee.
Thank you.
You were listening to a discussion on India-UK ties for Roadmap 2030.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi will today virtually inaugurate the National Mayors Conference to be held in Gujarat capital Gandhinagar. In a tweet, Mr. Modi said, with growing urbanization, It is important that we view it as an opportunity and work together towards building modern, futuristic cities. As many as 121 mayors and deputy mayors of BJP-ruled urban local bodies across the country will participate in the two-day event, which is being organized by the party's Sushasan, Good Governance Cell. BJP National President JP Nadda will also attend the inaugural ceremony. Talking to AIR News, Mayor of Indore, Pushyamitra Bhargav said,
देश भर के भारतीय जनता पार्टी के महापौर एक साथ गुजरात के गांधीनगर में एकत्रित हो रहे हैं। प्रधानमंत्री श्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी, जिनके सपनों के भारत में स्वच्छता सर्वोपरि है, वो स्वच्छता का पाठ कई नगर निगम नगर पालिकाओं ने पढ़कर स्वच्छता में अपने आप को सिरमौर बनाने का प्रयास किया है। इंदौर लगातार पिछली 5 बार से स्वच्छता में नंबर 1 है। इस महापौर सम्मेलन में, जिसको कि राष्ट्रीय महापौर सम्मेलन कहा गया है, जो भारतीय जनता पार्टी का सुशासन विभाग आयोजित कर रहा है, इसमें हमें माननीय नरेंद्र मोदी जी का मार्गदर्शन मिलेगा। गुजरात के यशस्वी मुख्यमंत्री श्री भूपेंद्र भाई पटेल के भी अनुभवों का लाभ मिलेगा और महानगर पालिकाओं में महापौर की क्या भूमिका है, संगठन के साथ कैसे समन्वय हो, इसके साथ साथ देश भर से आए अलग अलग महापौर अपने अनुभव, उनके शहरों में होने वाले काम और इन सब बातों को साझा करेंगे।
Bharatiya Janata Party BJP Chief JP Nadda will be on a 2-day visit to Gujarat from today. Briefing media in Gandhinagar, General Secretary of Gujarat BJP Pradeep Singh Waghela said the BJP President JP Nadda will attend the inaugural session of the 2-day National Conference of Mayors and Deputy Mayors of the BJP-ruled urban bodies to be held in Gandhinagar from today. We have more from our correspondent.
In his 2-day visit, BJP Chief JP Nadda will participate in a host of events and hold meetings with local leaders at various places in the state. Mr. Nadda will address BJP workers and flag off e-bikes at BJP's Kisan Morcha event near Gandhinagar today morning. The e-bikes will travel to around 143 assembly constituencies of the state and reach out to the farmers. He will also visit Rajkot in the afternoon to address a gathering of BJP elected representatives in urban, panchayat and cooperative bodies. Mr. Nadda will hold a roadshow in the neighbouring Morbi town in the evening. He will also attend Viranjali event in Gandhinagar today evening, where artists will pay tribute to national heroes through their songs and plays. Tomorrow, BJP President will hold meetings with senior Gujarat BJP leaders at party headquarters Sri Kamalam in Gandhinagar. Aparna Khun, AIR News, Ahmedabad.
Union Minister for Ports, Shipping and Waterways, Sarbanand Sonowal, announced that the country's longest river cruise service between Varanasi in Uttar Pradesh and Bogibeel in Assam will begin from next year. It will traverse through the Ganga, Indo-Bangladesh Protocol route and the Brahmaputra. Mr. Sonowal was speaking after launching multiple projects for the development of the Bogibeel region near Dibrugarh in Assam. Former Punjab Chief Minister Captain Amrinder Singh has joined the BJP in New Delhi. His party, Punjab Lok Congress, has also been merged with the BJP. Mr. Singh joined the party in the presence of senior BJP leaders and Union Ministers Narendra Singh Tomar and Kiren Rijiju. Along with Captain Amrinder Singh, former Lok Sabha MP Amrik Singh Aliwal, former Punjab Assembly Speaker Ajay Singh Bhatti has also joined the BJP. Later, talking to reporters, BJP leader and Union Minister Narendra Singh Tomar said with the induction of Captain Amrinder Singh into the BJP, the party base in Punjab will be strengthened, and it also demonstrates that Mr. Singh wants peace and law and order to prevail in the state.
आज मुझे बहुत प्रसन्नता है और गौरव भी है कि उनकी पार्टी पंजाब लोक कांग्रेस का उनकी अध्यक्षता में संपूर्ण पार्टी का विलय भारतीय जनता पार्टी के साथ हो रहा है। मैं भारतीय जनता पार्टी की ओर से लाखों लाख कार्यकर्ताओं की ओर से कैप्टन अमरिंदर सिंह जी और उनकी पार्टी के सभी कार्यकर्ताओं का, पदाधिकारियों का हृदय से बहुत बहुत स्वागत करता हूं।
Captain Amrinder Singh thanked Prime Minister, Union Home Minister and BJP National President for inducting him and others into the party. He said the decision to merge the party was taken keeping in mind the interests of Punjab.
that now is the time that we should think of what we do for the country and for ourselves. And if you want to do that, we have seen the Congress for so many years, and now it is time to go to a party that is looking after the interests of the country, and that is the BJP. And I am today grateful to the Prime Minister, who I met a few days ago, and the Home Minister, who I met a few days ago and met him a few minutes ago also, and the party President, Nadda Sahab, and all senior colleagues here who are sitting, the ministers, who have found the time and the ability and the interest in seeing us join as a party.
Union Information and Broadcasting Minister Anurag Thakur has said that the COVID-19 crisis has thrown up challenges as well as provided an opportunity not just to reinvent journalism but to redefine the media as a trusted source of news and information. He said real journalism is about facing the facts, presenting the truth, and letting all sides of the platform present their views. Addressing a meeting of the Asia Pacific Institute for Broadcasting Development, AIBD, in New Delhi, the Union Minister said, in his personal opinion, the biggest threat to mainstream media is not from new age digital platforms, but rather the mainstream media channel itself.
I would especially appreciate Indian Public Service broadcaster, which is Doordarshan and All India Radio, as they very satisfactorily delivered on their mandate of public service and stood strong with the people during the testing times of the pandemic. Thank you for being there. Even the other Indian broadcasters and Indian media in general ensure that COVID-19 awareness messages, important government guidelines, and free online consultations with doctors reached everyone in nook and corner of the country. Expert opinions through programs like Doctor Speak and campaigns such as Mask Up India by the public broadcaster Doordarshan played a very significant role at the time when fake news on the pandemic became a menace.
3 awards were also presented on the occasion, and one of them, the Lifetime Achievement Award for 2022, was conferred on CEO Prasar Bharati, Mayank Agrawal.
You are listening to the morning news on All India Radio. A reminder of the headlines before we move on. World leaders to begin their high-level meeting of UN General Assembly in New York today. Global polarization, Russia-Ukraine conflict, food and energy crisis, economic problems and natural disasters likely to dominate agenda. External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar holds talks with his UAE, Indonesian, Egyptian and Cuban counterparts on the sidelines of the UNGA session. Also participates in India CELAC Quartet meeting. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to address a meeting of all BJP mayors this morning. Former Punjab Chief Minister Captain Amrinder Singh joins the BJP, merges his party Punjab Lok Congress with the BJP. ED summons Aam Aadmi Party MLA Durgesh Pathak in connection with Delhi liquor policy scam. CBI files charge sheet against Yes Bank co-founder Rana Kapoor in 466 crore rupees bank fraud case. Massive 7.5 magnitude earthquake rocks Mexico's Pacific coast. And in cricket, India to take on Australia in the first T20 International of the 3-match series in Mohali this evening. For quick news updates round the clock, follow us on Twitter at AIR News Alerts.
न्यू इंडिया समाचार, नए भारत का संकल्प, सबका साथ, सबका विकास, सबका विश्वास और सबका प्रयास। समाज में गरीब और कमजोर तबकों के लिए सरकार की चल रही कल्याणकारी योजनाओं और कार्यक्रमों से जुड़ी जानकारी पाएं। सरकार के इन कदमों के बारे में जानें और लाभ उठाएं। आकाशवाणी पर अब सुनिए जन कल्याण के सरोकार दोपहर 3 बजे से हर शनिवार। सुनिए न्यू इंडिया समाचार आकाशवाणी के साथ।
Enforcement Directorate ED has summoned senior Aam Aadmi Party AAP leader and Rajendra Nagar MLA Durgesh Pathak in the Delhi excise policy case. The central agencies are probing the Delhi excise policy case on the recommendation of Lieutenant Governor V.K. Saxena, following which the CBI raided Manish Sisodia's house earlier in August. Mr. Saxena had claimed that Mr. Sisodia also extended financial favours to the liquor licensees much after the tenders had been awarded and thus caused huge losses to the exchequer. Mr. Sisodia is among 15 others booked in an FIR filed by the CBI. Excise officials, liquor company executives, dealers, some unknown public servants and private persons have been booked in the case. The Central Bureau of Investigation has filed a charge sheet against Yes Bank co-founder Rana Kapoor and Avanta Group promoter Gautam Thapar and his company in the 466 crore rupees bank fraud case. The CBI alleged that the accused had committed criminal breach of trust, cheating, criminal conspiracy and forgery for diversion and misappropriation of public money during the period 2017-2019.
Over the past 75 years since independence, India's largest public service broadcaster, All India Radio, has been the proverbial storyteller for crores of people across the country. All India Radio is celebrating 75 years of freedom with a series Azad Bharat Ki Baat, Akashvani Ke Saath. It showcases the journey of India since independence in various walks of life through the storytelling of All India Radio. In today's episode, we will bring you the story of the Civil Aviation Ministry's Regional Connectivity Scheme UDAN, Ude Desh Ka Aam Nagrik.
Civil Aviation Ministry had launched its Regional Connectivity Scheme UDAN, Ude Desh Ka Aam Nagrik, on 27th of April 2017. Prime Minister Narendra Modi said this scheme aims to fulfill the aspirations of the common citizen by following the vision of Ude Desh Ka Aam Nagrik with an enhanced aviation infrastructure and air connectivity in Tier 2 and Tier 3 cities.
हवाई यात्रा के लिए, एविएशन फील्ड के लिए विश्व में सबसे ज्यादा अवसर कहीं है तो भारत में। बहुत पहले हमारी सोच ये बनी थी कि हवाई यात्रा ने ये राजा महाराजाओं का ही विषय है। इतना बड़ा देश है, इतनी संभावनाएं है, विश्व का ध्यान है, एक एविएशन पॉलिसी बनाएं, कसौटी पर कसें, सारे स्टेक होल्डर्स को उसमें विश्वास में ले और नीति के आधार पर इसके एक्सपांशन की एक डिजाइन तैयार करें। मुझे खुशी है कि आजादी के बाद पहली बार देश में एविएशन पॉलिसी बनाने का सौभाग्य हमारी सरकार को मिला। एविएशन को मैं किस रूप में देखता हूँ? गरीब व्यक्ति की एक पहचान है, वो हवाई चप्पल पहनता है कि मैं चाहता हूँ कि हवाई जहाज में हवाई चप्पल वाले लोग दिखाई दे, और आज ये संभव हो रहा है।
The scheme was designed to jumpstart the regional aviation market, improving viability of regional air connectivity by making flying affordable for the common populace. UDAN 2 focuses on hilly areas in northeastern and island states. UDAN 3 focuses on seaplanes operations to develop water aerodromes. UDAN 4 focuses on shorter routes to facilitate the development of regional hubs. In the last 5 years, UDAN has significantly increased the regional air connectivity in the country. There were 74 operational airports in 2014. Because of the UDAN scheme, this number has increased to 141 by now. 68 underserved or unserved destinations have been connected under UDAN scheme. With 425 new routes initiated under the scheme, UDAN has provided air connectivity to more than 29 states and union territories across the length and breadth of the country. More than 1 crore passengers have availed the benefits of this scheme as on 4th of August 2022. The scheme has also provided a much-needed platform to regional carriers to scale up their operations. UDAN has played a great role in transformation of Indian aviation industry. This scheme has benefited a diverse set of stakeholders. Passengers have got the benefits of air connectivity. Airlines have received concessions for operating regional routes. Unserved regions have received the direct and indirect benefits of air connectivity for their economic development. Lifeline UDAN initiative commenced in March 2020 during COVID-19 period, and it helped to operate 588 flights transporting almost 1,000 tons of cargo and essential medical services to various parts of the country. Krishi UDAN scheme was launched in August 2020 on international and national routes to assist farmers in transporting agricultural products so that it improves their value realization.
In Iran, massive anti-hijab protests continue after the death of a 22-year-old woman, Mahsa Amini, who lost life in custody after being detained by the official moral police. Her death sparked protests in the capital and western Iran, where 2 people were reportedly killed in clashes with riot police yesterday. Video footage of the protests show the furious women protesters cutting their hair and burning hijabs in a bid to fight back against the mandatory veiling of women. The Indian High Commission in London has strongly condemned the violence perpetrated against the Indian community in the United Kingdom's Leicester. In its statement, the Indian High Commission strongly protested the violence and vandalizing of Hindu religious premises in Leicester. The High Commission said it had taken up the matter with the UK authorities and sought immediate action against those involved in the attacks. The Indian High Commission has also urged the authorities to provide protection to those affected. Queen Elizabeth II, Britain's longest reigning monarch, has been laid to rest at St. George's Chapel in Windsor Castle, bringing an end to days of public mourning. The Queen's coffin was lowered into the royal vault next to her husband Prince Philip yesterday. The burial service was an entirely private affair with only members of the royal family present at the Windsor Castle. Earlier in the day, the late Queen was honoured with a full state funeral at Westminster Abbey, the building in which she was married and crowned Queen. President Draupadi Murmu also attended the funeral of the Queen and offered tributes on behalf of the people of India.
A magnitude 7.5 earthquake struck Mexico's central Pacific coast yesterday, setting off a seismic alarm in the rattled capital on the anniversary of two earlier devastating quakes. According to the U.S. Geologic Survey, there were no immediate reports of significant damage from the quake that hit. It said the quake was centered 37 kilometers southeast of Aquila, near the boundary of Colima and Michoacán states, at a depth of 15.1 kilometers. President Andrés Manuel López Obrador confirmed that one person was killed in the port city of Manzanillo, Colima, when a wall at a mall collapsed. The U.S. Tsunami Warning Center said the hazardous tsunami waves were possible for coasts within 300 kilometers of the epicenter.
In cricket, India will take on Australia in the first T20 international match of the three-match series today. The match will be played at Punjab Cricket Association IS Bindra Stadium in Mohali at 7:30 p.m. This will be the first game that India will play after finishing off their Asia Cup 2022 journey with a win over Afghanistan, though the team could not qualify for the finals. Sri Lanka had won the Asia Cup this year after beating Pakistan in an intense face-off. India will face South Africa in a three-match ODI and three-match T20 international series from September the 28th.
And now an overview of today's newspapers. UK's Queen Elizabeth II laid to rest after grand farewell, headlines The Statesman, showing a photograph of the coffin with mourning dignitaries. 5-judge Constitution bench is to fix guidelines on death sentences, writes the Asian Age. Meaningful chance to those on death row, writes the Indian Express. Lured to Thailand, 300 Indians now forced into cybercrime in Myanmar, reports the Times of India. The Indian Embassy, working with Myanmar government, is to rescue the captives. The Election Commission has proposed bringing down anonymous political donation from 20,000 rupees to 2,000 rupees, reports the Pioneer. Delhi's air quality begins to worsen as rains recede and fires start, reports Hindustan Times. One of the causes is Punjab's paddy straw reuse capacity, which is only a fraction of the stubble generated, writes the paper. And finally, is the end of the COVID pandemic finally in sight, reads the headline in a box item in the Hindu Business Line. The article quotes virologist Gagandeep Kang as saying that a major outbreak is unlikely unless a new, highly transmissible variant emerges which causes severe disease.
And now, before we end the bulletin, the headlines once again. World leaders to begin their high-level meeting of UN General Assembly in New York today. Global polarization, Russia-Ukraine conflict, food and energy crisis, economic problems and natural disasters likely to dominate agenda. External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar holds talks with his UAE, Indonesian, Egyptian and Cuban counterparts on the sidelines of UNGA session. Also participates in India CELAC Quartet meeting. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to address a meeting of all BJP mayors this morning. Former Punjab Chief Minister Captain Amrinder Singh joins BJP. Merges his party Punjab Lok Congress with BJP. ED summons Aam Aadmi Party MLA Durgesh Pathak in connection with Delhi liquor policy scam. CBI files charge sheet against Yes Bank co-founder Rana Kapoor in 466 crore rupees bank fraud case. Massive 7.5 magnitude earthquake rocks Mexico's Pacific coast. And in cricket, India to take on Australia in first T20 international of 3-match series in Mohali this evening. For details of these stories and more, log on to our website www.newsonair.gov.in and News on AIR app. And with that, we end the morning news. Have a nice day.